And for anyone new to my work and anyone who's been there as a friend all the way through, as a in the community, welcome. It's so nice to connect with you all again. And this will really be a journey over the next, say, 40 minutes or more to really self-reflect on what is here in the moment that is not maybe acknowledged or accepted. Could be an emotion, it could be a fear, it could be part of you turning away, dissociating. So I just want to support you in this next 40 minutes or more to really resolve whatever is open and to reflect on and support your inner child if he or she feels neglected or pushed away or afraid, and just really to support you to settle into your cells, into your body, into your own system. And it's so beautiful as we're all from different parts of the world. And this is just a ripple effect, is the beautiful part of this, is that when we work on our own inner world, any turbulence that's there, any dissociation, it then affects, in a positive sense, our ancestors, our genetics, our family systems, and also the world around us, because we're all interconnected on some level. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this webinar. And thank you for being on this journey. So let's begin so we can really set the intention to go deep into getting results from this. I really want to support you to, the most precious thing in life really is the time. You can't get this back. So if you've committed to doing this webinar, I say thank you. And I want to get you the best results. So for that, it's really just set the intention to face or accept whatever is open within you that maybe you didn't acknowledge. And then if you can also give me permission just to support you to see maybe things that you were not aware of, so we can accept them and simply release them. And then maybe a part of ourselves come back, or it's almost like leaving applications open in the back of your phone that it's eating up the battery. So when these unresolved resentment, fears, are open in your system, or even your epigenetic system, being the ancestral information which is in your blood, it sort of takes some of our energy away each day and does not allow our whole being to drop into this physical temple, this physical vessel. So let's set an intention for this meditation that you become more solid in your system, more accepting, compassionate with yourself, loving to yourself, and any split minds, any fears, or anything that's related to anybody else that you may have merged with, that we start cleaning those systems and really stepping into wholeness and full embodiment. So this webinar will really support you to be embodied, and it will support you with your health and with your life and feel more alive. As next week, we're going to be stepping into honoring the purpose of your life and purpose of your relationships. So before that, I'd really like to really resolve what's open so you're ready to drop into full purpose on all levels of your life. So I invite you to take a deep breath into your heart space and just simply acknowledge. And it's good if you sit up for this, because we're spirit in this physical vessel, and maybe we're not fully in our spine, our groin area, our hips, our feet, our nervous system. Maybe we're just hovering over it. So I'd like to really acknowledge any part of our system which is hovering over any unresolved topics. So really just then honoring yourself, that your spirit's whole, and that your cells are, each cell is amazing because each cell in itself has the full version of you. So it's like a hologram. When you cut up the hologram, each segment has the full hologram, and we're the same. So I'd like to honor each cell has all the information you need, and invite the cells to really support you in this. Good. So with your permission, if it's okay that we would honor your blueprint. The blueprint is the perfect version of your health, your organs, your cells, your brain. And then if there's anything, when I work, I open up all the systems that have been coming through over the last I'm doing this a while now, 35, 36 years. So there are all different systems for clearing trauma. So when we connect, I'm opening up those systems for you. So it's working with your genetics, it's working with any abuse you experience, it's working with the mind, it's working with the cellular health, it's working with fears, anxieties, it's working with clearing any entanglement with somebody else's belief systems, the collective, for example. So I'd like to just open the field for supporting you as well, that you're fully in your own responsibility. I'm in my own responsibility, but it's really just to show you a mirror of anything where you can improve or develop, if that's okay on a soul level. So let's set the intention that we go back into stillness, and then anything that's in the way, that we acknowledge it, that's in the way of ourselves. You're walking into ourselves. And sometimes there's parts of us that is stuck in old parts of our lives where we were neglected or afraid, or someone said we weren't good enough. So you cannot deny your emotions. You may say, oh, you're feeling that because of something. In emotions, it doesn't matter. It's not about the story. It's simply to accept an emotion, not to deny yourself any of your emotions. So it could be fear emotion, it could be resentment, it could be anger, it could be rage. But I'd like to honor all your emotions that you never honored, that may be in you now or in your past. So I'd like to really honor any emotions. And with your permission, I'm just going to support you to resolve what's behind the emotions as well. So really accepting the emotions of your inner child, anything you denied yourself to feel because you were busy, afraid, people pleasing, afraid what people would think of you. So you didn't feel safe to express your emotion, or you separated from your emotions. So I'm going to really set the intention to accept your emotions. And a lot of the time I work in silence as well, because it's helping you to reset your system and resolve what patterns are there. So I'd like to honor that. Any distractions that's happening right now from the outer world to the inner world, it helps us to go deeper. Any dissociation helps us to go deeper. There's something in the background. So the running away, escaping, is showing up what's deflecting from what's behind. So set the intention, if that's okay, because it's free will here, to accept, to resolve what's in the way of yourself. In the way of self-love, self-care, and keep the intention that if there's anything which is in your cells, everything I do in the webinars that I do, it's all about the cellular health. So if there's anything within the cells which is not resolved as well, because the cells listen to everything, we'll also work with all the cells in the body, bones, blood. And imagine you're standing in front of your biological mom. And mom is behind you on the left-hand side. And if you're adopted and you don't know who your mom is, your soul knows. And the mom, they'll say the chosen mom brought you up, is your chosen mom, but she's not your blood mom. You need to connect to your biological mom to connect to the ancestors, because they have all the information's within you. And say, for example, even your mom did something terrible to you and she has behavior patterns you don't want, it's not enough to step out and cut her out of your life because she's within you and you're within her. So it's not enough to disconnect from the family because the family is within you. The character of the family is within you. So first is to acknowledge it's within you. Mom's topics, mom's characters within me, and I want to resolve them so I become a better person to the best version of me, which is maybe different to the characters of my mom that I want to change within my system. Otherwise, it keeps going on. We become our mom, we become our dad, we become our grandparents. So first, I'd like to honor that you're standing in front of your biological mom on the left-hand side, and she's behind you, and all the ancestors on your mom's line. I'll invite the blueprint, the correct ones, to come into the system on the left-hand side behind your mom. Good. Even the missing children. The blueprint brings in everyone in order. Now you're connected to the biological mom's line. And then imagine you're standing in front of your dad, taking 2 steps in front of your dad because you're an adult, and honoring that he's the biological dad, and he's behind you on the right-hand side. And then dad connects you to all the ancestors on your dad's side. And we'll set the intention to get to the higher selves of the ancestors on dad and mom's side. And then any topics which is unresolved in you, which came from them, we'll ask the system to work with them now. Any minds you tangle with, sometimes we merge with our mom's mind, maybe her anxiety, her depression, dad's too. So let's set the intention that spirit will unravel any entanglement with split minds from parents, siblings, partners, the collective, and friends, including the nervous system we may have entangled with, and we can release that too. And any unresolved emotions that you didn't accept. Any fears that you're entangled with, let's release them if they're not belong to you. When it's from the ancestors or your parents, we think it's ours, but actually 90% is not. And it's coming from the ancestral line. So let's release any craziness coming from the ancestral line or fears, anxieties from the mind. And then your own, we can handle. We can work with that too now. Any fears, anxieties, our own demons, our ancestral demons, let's unravel from them. All our shadow aspects. Any self-criticism that's in the blood, maybe this gossip in the ancestral line, backstabbing, maybe this disconnect from wills or family members. So I'd like to honor anyone who's been disconnected from the family in the ancestral line, because that grudge or that resentment, that disconnect brings up a disconnect in the system, maybe affecting you or your children. So I'd like to resolve any disconnected family members through favorites, the black sheep of the family. I'm sure we all know that one. And yeah, good. So the higher selves of the ancestors can support us and our own higher selves. So all disconnects. And imagine everything's unraveling from your system because we entangle with people. So let's unravel from people's systems and fears and the collective too. So you're untangling everything that does not belong to your system, especially anxieties or shocks, also backstabbing, betrayal. And nice we're doing this work so we can really honor ourselves and respect ourselves and our inner child, that we stand up for ourselves and love ourselves more. So I'd like to honor any parts of yourself that's in the way of evolution, in the way of yourself being healthy, progressing, procrastination, fear of change, whatever's there in the system. Let's clear that. Heaviness. As we settle deeper into our bodies, accept to feel, even if it's uncomfortable, even for a few moments, and then accept to let go what is not serving us. When we entangle with other people's loss, grief, pain, sadness, then we lose a piece of ourselves. So as the spaces are opening up within us, we can even accept back parts of ourselves, our self-confidence, for example, our dignity, our nourishment, our creativity, our self-respect, our success. Not we can become a caregiver symbolically for other people. And as a caregiver, we maybe give more or sacrifice a piece of ourselves, and then we get sick, which doesn't help the one you're caring for. But but maybe all of us are caregivers on some level. So I'd like to bring balance. Everything about health is balancing systems. It's good to give, it's good to support, but it should be balanced, not throwing yourself under the bus for anyone or anything. Like in the plane, put the oxygen mask on you first, and then your child, or then the people around you. Good. Now I'm going to work more with split minds. Split minds is where maybe you dissociated in your childhood and you fragmented and then you stayed up in the illusion. So it's where we have illusions of our life, of our parents, of everything, and we're not in reality. So set the intention that we have permission to resolve any illusions or fragmentation of the minds to go back into wholeness. Right. Take better care of ourselves. We don't need to be the example of the one who got a hit just to prove to other people not to get the hit. So let's really take good care of ourselves. So anything that's in the way of taking good care of ourselves, let's transform it and clear it out of the way. Any belief systems that you've taken on from your ancestors, you, from your childhood. Could be a simple one like if I'm sick, mom and dad may stop fighting or they stay together, or they pick me up, or they love me, they won't abandon me. So let's clear all those belief systems. Shame is clearing. Sadness. Sadness usually comes in. Sadness for me is a friend that tells me, Damien, you've given too much of yourself to a person, to a system, and you need to balance it again. So it's like a friend tapping you on the back, say on the shoulder, and saying, you've given too much to some system this week. So if you feel sadness coming up in your system, we all should have a little bit of sadness. That brings it to compassion. If it's too much, it means we gave too much of ourselves to somebody or a system or work, it could be, for example. And then now let's honor that, accept if it was there in your life, and ask the system to go into balance again, to go into balance with that person, to go balance in the work, wherever it is, to bring everything back into balance and harmony on all levels. Because this doesn't help the person you're going out of balance with, codependency. It's good for everyone. Right. A lot of belief systems in the frontal lobe, like loops, habits, dependency, victimhood consciousness. Let's clear victimhood consciousness from the system. Guilt doesn't work in systems. When I say systems, it means it's not going to get you anywhere in a positive way. It's not going to help you evolve if you keep guilt in the system. You need to work with the systems. What did you do? Why did you do it? Look deeper into old systems. Always reflect and look into what is the root cause. Where is the guilt coming from? Catholic Ireland, huge feel of guilt. So where is the guilt coming from? Let's unravel from it. Be someone else's guilt. Are there any emotions that are open now that are not being acknowledged? Really, any unacknowledged emotions? Any unacknowledged fears, anxieties? Good. It's a lot clearing from the heart, unraveling, unraveling, unraveling. Any resentment you may be holding, even if it's subconscious resentment, or someone else's resentment, let's set the intention that our spirit can work with it. The throat chakra is coming up. Any frozen words that you didn't feel safe to speak out, or your ancestors weren't safe to speak, let's work with the throat chakra as well. You're being seen to be crazy if you speak out, or thrown out of the community, not loved, not liked, people pleasing. Looking for acknowledgement from the outer world. So at this point, I'm just going to sit with everything that is working in you and to allow everything to go back into completion of everything that's open now, that we complete the cycle and we close the cycle so you have the result on everything we worked with. So I'm not going to open anything else, just simply being with whatever's open and then handing it over to your higher self, to creation, to resolve. Good. Going deeper with your permission, just into the subconsciousness. I love working in the bone structure, the skull, for example. Because for me, it's not enough to clear it in the brain, because the memory fields are in the skull as well, the bone structure. So I also want to clear it on the DNA level, but the blood structure level and the bone structure. Good. In the amygdala, it's like the hard drive that collects all the shocks and heavy things that happen in our lives. So just clean the amygdala in the brain as well. Doesn't matter if you don't know where it is or don't understand it. It's okay. You can look it up later. So working also with the different levels, so the auras, the subtle bodies, that if there's a shock or something that happened to you, that it's clear from your aura too. Or maybe you got abuse in your aura, so let's clear those fields too. that it's okay to hit me or it's okay to treat me bad. That can be in the aura. So let's clean them. It's not okay. Good. Set the intention that your body can really, your spirit, your whole spirit, can start now accepting to close everything we worked with and then clear all the soul contracts with those experiences because we make soul contracts before we come into this life to have certain experiences to help us remember what's in the way of ourselves. And now we clear those soul contracts so then we can go back into wholeness and even new soul contracts of new experiences can come in, good experiences, for example. And then people as well don't have to play certain characters. You know, maybe someone is playing a character of an abuser to you because that was in your genetics. So now they don't have to play the characters, or you ran away, left the country, and now somebody's turned into your dad or your mom or your brother or sister. So no one needs to play characters in my life anymore with these topics we've completed. So let's invite, say, sorry, you had to play that character, and you don't need to play that character with me anymore. And I'm not going to play that character for you either. Good. Taking a deep breath into your heart and slowly releasing. Beautiful. Taking a deep breath into your digestion and slowly releasing. And inviting your spirit to bring your mind back to oneness, wholeness. And imagine now you're closing your cells, you're closing your systems. And now the accepting the new version of you, the new level of consciousness that's here now, the new vitality, and your spirit can come into the new places in your cells because you created room in your cells, in your life, in your heart. So now your spirit can move into the cells in a much deeper way, accept the bones, for example, in a much deeper way, accept your spine in a new way. And everything can go back into the divine order that we worked with and bring it into completion and bring the result in cellularly, emotionally. And all the ancestors can go back to their own genetic places. And you can be in your own genetic place, in your own channel, for example. You're a creator. So honoring the full power of you as a creator here. Less fortunate. And accepting everything that's here right now. Every emotion, every mindset, and how your higher self can work with your system even more. And you can come into your nervous system more, your bones more, your cells more, your mind more. And imagine, or you can ask yourself, how far are you from yourself now? How many steps are you away from yourself? And then you can reach out to yourself and walk yourself back to yourself, back into yourself. Or maybe there was parts of you that was left behind in your childhood. If you imagine you're going back as the new version of you, the older version of you, and walking back and taking that part of you, the 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and walk these parts or bring these parts back to yourself, if you like. Good. And walking back into your emotional body. How far are you from your emotional body? Then you can walk yourself back into your emotional body. That's a big one. I feel it. And then you can walk yourself back into your nervous system. How many steps are you away from your nervous system? Walk yourself back. I invite you to walk yourself back into your nervous system. Beautiful. Then I invite you, if you're in a relationship, or maybe you're not in a relationship, I want to ask you, how many steps are you away from your partner or from a future partner? How many steps are you away from a relationship? And then you can invite that part of you, maybe that's out of the relationship, to walk yourself back to yourself. Maybe you don't trust relationships. So you can walk that part back to yourself and have the full experience, a new experience, because you've changed. Different than before, different than old past partners, relationships, different than your partner now, in a way that you can have a new relationship with your partner now if you walk back to yourself. And then you can ask yourself, how far is your partner away from you? How many steps? And then you can invite your partner to walk back into the relationship place with you. Not pulled, walk together. Beautiful. How many steps are you away from your life? Let's walk ourselves back into our lives. Walk ourselves into our hips, our spine. Beautiful. Now that you've walked yourself into your spine, into your back, into your front in the new way, into your left side in the new way, into your right side in the new way, because we're balancing the directions of mind, body, spirit now. Breathe into your new heart, and your new front supports your new back because you've changed. New front supports your new back. Your new back supports your new front because you've changed. Whole new left side supports the whole new right side because you've changed. Whole new right side supports the whole new left side because you've changed. Above supports below because you've changed. Below supports above because you've changed. Aligned within your own channel, your own system. You're in your own life. Whole, embodied. And imagine you're drawing a line in the sand and walking across because you've changed since you did this webinar. So you're stepping into your new you and accepting the new you walks into yourself because you've changed. I'm not going to look back. I don't need to look back. And all the topics we worked at are resolved or being resolved in the quantum field. So you just leave them there. Okay. You don't need to check them. You just leave them there. It's in God's hands now. It's with your higher self. So you don't need to check those systems. Breathe into your new cells, your new body, the new version of you. All the energy all the changes we made, we can share them with our parents, our ancestors, out to our siblings, children, even the collective. And now our ancestors have changed, so they share the new experience back to us and our children, future children, and then it comes back in a wave to our ancestors. So we're in this wave of evolution, spirals of evolution, comes out to the collective and the collective back to us because we've changed, the collective's changed, we've all changed. Whole, lovable, still, present, joy. Gratitude. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this webinar. And then next weekend, I'm going further and I'm going to work with purpose, that you're really present with your purpose in life, that you're connected to the purpose of your essence, being that you're living your essence. This will bring life to your body, life to your cells, health. It will bring life to your daily practice as you show up with yourself, with a partner. It also will work on your career as well. So it's bringing life to your career. So we're going to work with purpose next weekend. It's going to be 4 beautiful webinars, and it's going to go very deep in to create massive results in the system. because we're ready to live our purpose. And it's about living our purpose now. So I look forward to really bringing in results for next week's webinar, Purpose, so you can make a massive shift in your system and bring huge shifts and changes into your lives on every level. This is going to be a strong one. It's going to be a deep one. And it's about really committing to it, showing up, and committing to look at anything that you're afraid of looking at and really going into those systems. So I'm going to go very detailed. I'm going to work also with the microbiome in the gut, which is connected to the brain. And I'm going to bring a new technique that I'm working with, and that's traveling through the gut and traveling through the brain. So they're synchronized, and it works with brain health, gut health. I'm then going to work with building up a structure, your system, your results, build up the house of all the results you've got already. So that's your foundation. That is your system. And this is the results of past lives, this life, childhood, everything up to now. We'll bring it in, and we'll bring it in like a castle, like a solid foundation and structure that you have success in your system already. And then everything else is just, it's like a storm that hits you, but it passes through, it passes by. You can handle it. So I'm going to work with really building your system up, working with the brain health, the gut health. And this will really work on a cellular level. So it's going to work with the cells. It's going to work with your career. It's going to work with your love life. It's going to work with nourishing yourself. It's going to work with creativity. It'll bring you into your true purpose. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at that webinar if you'd like to be part of it, and commit to yourself of self-love, and commit really to be in your purpose, and to really stop playing programs in your life and old commitment with old programs and resentment, whatever's there, and really clearing it and stepping into full embodiment of you and being yourself. It's not proving, it's not people pleasing, it's a state of being, presence, and remembrance. It will help you remember who you are, and that remembrance will come into your cells and into your life. You will be yourself. That's what this webinar is about. So that webinar is on my website, and it's about purpose, damienwynne.com. If you feel like sharing this, or if you want to press like, it will help the algorithm spread it as well to more people, so more people can benefit from this work. And yeah, if you want to share this webinar, I invite you to share it. The more involved in it, the more on the collective level, we have this 100 monkey syndrome that we can share it and transform the fields, the collective fields. And yeah, we're all here to support each other. Have a beautiful, beautiful new experience with the new you. Thank you for being part of this webinar. Thank you for sharing it too and liking it, if that's what you'd like to do. And yeah, maybe I'll see you next week at the webinar Purpose. This is going to be a big one. Thank you. And thank you. I'm in Athens. I've received so many gifts since I've been here. I'm walking every night in all the ancient sites, and I've never felt so solid and supported and embodied and grounded in life. It's beautiful. So I'm going to share all those results with you next weekend. Thank you.